Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Rukmini, Jaya Satyabhama, Krishna Rukmini, Jaya Satyabhama. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Om Vishnupad Paramamsa Pravrajakaacharya Ashtottara Shata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya, BBT Founder Acharya, Savior of the World, Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Granthara Srimad-Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, first canto, Creation, chapter 6, conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva, verse number 37. Sota uvacha evam sambhashya Bhagavan evam sambhashya Bhagavan evam sambhashya Bhagavan Naradaha वासवीसूतं नारदो वासवीसुतं नारदो वासवीसुतं आमन्त्र्य वीणां रणयन् आमन्त्र्य वीणां रणयन् आमन्त्र्य वीणां रणयन् ययो यादृच्छिकः मुनिः ययो यादृच्छिको मुनिः ययो यादृच्छिको मुनिः सूत उवाच एवं सम्भाष्य भगवान् नारदो वासवीसुतम् आमन्त्र्य वीणां रणयन् ययो यादृच्छिको मुनिः
सूत उवाच एवं सम्भाष्य भगवान् नारदो वासवीसुतम् आमन्त्र्य वीणं रणयन् ययावो यादृच्छिको मुनिः
सूत उवाच एवं सम्भाष्य भगवान् नारदो वासवीसुतम् आमन्त्र्य वीणां रणयन् ययौ यादृच्छिको मुनिः
सूत उवाच एवं सम्भाष्य भगवान् नारदो वासवीसुतम् आमन्त्र्य वीणां रणयन् ययौ यादृच्छिको मुनिः
सूत उवाच एवं सम्भाष्य भगवान् नारदो वासवीसुतम् आमन्त्र्य word to word meaning. Suta Goswami Uvacha said, Evam thus Sambhashya addressing Bhagavan transcendently powerful Narada Narada Muni Vasavi named Vasavi Satyavati Sutam son Amantrya inviting Veenam instrument Ranayan vibrating Yayo went Yadrichikaha wherever willing Munihi the sage. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Suta Goswami said, thus addressing Vyasadeva, Srila Narada Muni took leave of him and vibrating on his Veena instrument, he left to wander at his free will. Kindly repeat translation. Suta Goswami said, thus addressing Vyasadeva, Srila Narada Muni took leave of him and vibrating on his Veena instrument, he left to wander at his free will. Purport. Every living being is anxious for full freedom because that is his transcendental nature, and this freedom is obtained only through transcendental service of the Lord. Illusioned by the external energy, everyone thinks that he is free, but actually he is bound up by the laws of nature. A conditioned soul cannot freely move from one place to another, even on this earth, and what to speak of one planet to another. But a full-fledged free soul like Narada, always engaged in chanting the Lord's glory, is free to move not only on earth but also in any part of the universe, as well as in any part of the spiritual sky. We can just imagine the extent and unlimitedness of his freedom, which is as good as that of the Supreme Lord. There is no reason or obligation for his traveling. No one can stop him from his free movement. Similarly, the transcendental system of devotional service is also free. It may or may not develop in a particular person even after he undergoes all detailed formulas. Similarly, the association of the devotees is also free. One may be fortunate to have it, or one may not have it even after thousands of endeavors. Therefore, in all spheres of devotional service, freedom is the main pivot. Without freedom, there is no execution of devotional service. The freedom surrendered to the Lord does not mean that the devotee becomes dependent in every respect. To surrender unto the Lord through the transparent medium of the spiritual master is to attain complete freedom of life. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Maste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachata Deshatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, we are discussing from the first canto of the 6th chapter. Today verse is the ending verses. So, after this one more verse is there. So, let me read out the preceding verse to understand the context for the present verse. In the previous verse, so the great says, Narada talking to Vyasadeva, O Vyasadeva, you are freed from all sins. Thus, I have explained my birth and activities for self-realization as you asked. All this will be conducive for your personal satisfaction also. So, the great sage Narada ended his conversation with his dear disciple Vyasadeva and taking leave from him. So, in the present verse, Suta Goswami is describing to the sages of Naimisharanya about how Narada Muni in a grand way is living from the cottage of Vyasadeva. He is describing here. Srila Narada Muni took leave of him and vibrating on his veena instrument, he left to wander at his free will. So Srila Prabhupada is giving stress, try to understand the extent of freedom that Narada Muni had. So Narada Muni taking his veena instrument, which was given by Krishna himself, to broadcast the message of the God in any part of the creation. So that was the freedom of the Narada Muni. So Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport, if we see the first line, every living being is anxious for full freedom because that is his transcendental nature. So here we see Lord being the creator of both material and spiritual world. He is free to move anywhere. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate. I am the source of both material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanated from him. So Lord is a complete, anywhere he can be any part of this creation. So Prabhupada is saying, being children of Krishna, we are also having equal freedom to live anywhere we like, to go anywhere we like. Is it not? So Father wanted to give, full freedom to children also. But if you see at present our situation, unlike Narada Muni, so we don't have much freedom in this material world. Like how to understand, Krishna says, this material world is like a jail. That's why this universe, material universe, covered with thick 7 layers, earth, water, fire, air, space, material energy, ego. It's not easy for any conditioned soul to get out from this material universe and enter into a spiritual world. So, not only this material universe, in this material universe, we are all accepted various material bodies. This material body is like a jail, like a person, a criminal, put into a jail, so his freedom is taken away. Isn't it? Not that a person who is in jail, not that he can go to a beach and see the, sunrise, can eat whatever he wants. Not possible. So the jail means his freedom is completely taken out. And being a children of Krishna, we are entitled like Narada to have to experience complete happiness, to have a full knowledge. But right now you see in the material world, everyone is subjected to 4 miseries. What are the 4 miseries? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. So nobody is free from the influence of these 4 principles of material existence. Krishna saying, real freedom means how to become free from the influence of these 4. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. As long as we remain in the material existence. Sri Krishna Rukmani Satyabhama ki jai. Sri Gaurnita Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As long as we remain in the material existence, we have to suffer this repeated pain of birth and death. Therefore, Shastra says the purpose of the human life is to prepare to get complete freedom from these 4 material miseries. So, how to get complete freedom? You have to prepare. So, Shastra says one should become self-realized. What is the meaning of self-realization? To understand our original identity, who we are actually. Are we this gross material body? Shastra says, no, we are not this gross material body. We are a spirit soul living in this body. Our existence is spiritual. And what is this creation all about? Who is God? What is my relationship with the God? This kind of inquiry is called self-realization. Self-realization is basically to revive our original relationship with the Krishna. Right now, we have forgotten that relationships. So, from the life of Chitraketu, we can understand how to live in the material world in a Krishna consciousness way, how to get detached from the material relations and how to go back to Krishna. The Srimad-Bhagavatam, the story of Chitraketu as mentioned. Chitraketu was a very powerful emperor. He was ruling entire earth planet. And he was very young and very potent and powerful. And he had anybody knows how many wives he had? 1 crore, 10 million wives. Kali, of course, we cannot think of more than one wife. Prabhupada says, to maintain one wife, one child means it is like difficult in ruling a country. Krishna married in Dwapara Yuga 16,108 wives. People criticize, not understanding the Lord's nature. Even the ordinary kings, they could marry 10 million wives. These are not fictions, these are reality, history it is. And unfortunately, even though he had such a beautiful 10,000 queens, 1 crore queens as his wives, he did not have any child from any of them. Therefore, he is always very anxious, not having child, always morose, dissatisfied, in spite of having wealth and beautiful wives. It's the nature of the material world. If we try to, see, we are all seeking for pleasure. We're all seeking for a real pleasure, real happiness, real freedom. But that will not be available from the matter and material relations. Look at the King Chitraketu. Emperor, all the kings are subordinate to him. Beautiful wives, wealth, everything is there. But always unhappy, anxious. So, the great sage Angira, once he visited the palace of Chitraketu. So, king is a saintly king, Chitraketu. So, he received him nicely by doing Pada Puja nicely. He worshipped him nicely. And after some time, so King Angira asked about his, inquired from king about his welfare. Then Chitraketu said, my lord, you are yogi, Trikalagni, you know everything. What is the reason for my distress? So by the grace of Angira, so Chitraketu, his elder wife, Krutaduti, she receives a child, a male child, son. Then upon childbirth, king, queen, minister, all the citizens of the kingdom were very, very happy. So, everyone happy except the co-wives of Krutaduti. And because king started neglecting the other wives who did not have any son. So, other wives, not able to tolerate king's negligence. Being neglected by a king, so they developed envious towards the elder wife of a king. So later they administered poison to the child, the only son in the entire family. So imagine, if somebody become envious, they lose common sense, they lose their intelligence. How dangerous envious quality. King, with great difficulty, he got one son, but his other wives poisoned that child. Hearing the news of the, death of his son, Chitraketu cried, loudly opening his mouth, hitting his chest, sitting at the feet of his dead son. seeing the loud crying of his wife, he and all the ministers, male, female followers, everyone started crying. Everyone is in full lamentation, ocean of suffering they are experiencing by by hearing the untimed death of king's son. Understanding the situation, the great sage Angira, who blessed him to have a child, along with his friend, the great sage Narada, both visited to solace, to relieve from the lamentation, king's lamentation. So as soon Narada and Angira saw, everyone is full anxiety, lamentation, crying, surrounding the dead body of a king's son, Chitraketu's son. And then Narada tried to enlighten him, saying that, so these are all Lord's plan. We are not this body, we should not attach to the material relations. Still he was not pacified. Then Narada thought, let me wake up this dead child. So he brought the dead child by his mystic power into the assembly where everyone is assembled. And he spoke with the dead person. Dear Jiva, please re-enter into your body. See, your mother Krutaduti, your father Chitraketu, they were very much overwhelmed with grief upon your untimed death. Please re-enter, enjoy with your mother and father in your father kingdom. Because on the request of Narada, the soul which left the body again re-entered in a dead body, got up and started speaking. So it's a very interesting verse. Just I'll read out. Then that Jiva says, the soul, Kashmin Janmani Ami Mahyam Pitaro Mataro Abhavan Karmabir Brahmyamanasya Devatiryan Nur Yonishu. That child asking, Kashmin Janmani, in which life these are my mother, my parents? He is saying, Pitaro Mataro Abhavan. I do not have any mother and father. Every life, sometimes I take birth in the Devata society, in human society, human animal society, in bird society, in vegetables. Driven by karmabir brahmyamanasya. Driven by the reactions of my karma, I keep changing my body, life after life. Every life I change my mother and father. Actually, I do not have any mother and father. Who they are actually? That's what. Pitaro, Mataro, Abhavan. I do not have any mother and father. How can I accept them as mother and father? Imagine a small child of 3-4 years got up from the bed, morning saying, seeing mother and father, you are not my mother, you are not my father. How parents feel? Chitraketu shocked. They're all crying for him. He's got up from the bed saying, who are you? You are not my mother and father. His eye opening to the Chitraketu and his wife, Krutaduti. And so he says, I don't have any permanent relations in this world. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, I'm the only friend to you. You don't have any relationship, you don't have any friends in this world. You understand that. We have only permanent connection with Krishna and Guru and no one else. So, this boy further says, he gives analogy. Like waves in the river, the force of time brings some jivas, connects jivas with various relationships, mother, father, wife, husband, children, friends, relatives. The same kala separates us. The waves, force of time brings, allows some time to exchange relations, again separates. But not understanding the reality, we try to take pleasure in the material relations, forgetting the original relationship with Krishna. Like this king feeling ocean of grief at the death of his child. See? Forgot to understand the original relation with Krishna. Angira came to enlighten him. He asked the child. He did not ask Krishna consciousness. Narada came, Angira came second time, but did not realize. But when the dead son speaks, then he could understand what is what. So, that's why it should very important. Shastra says, as long as you try to take pleasure from matter and material relations, only frustration will be there. We cannot experience happiness. Prabhupada says, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sukham Athantikam. If you want to experience unlimited happiness, real happiness, super happiness, not possible with this material senses. So, that required a transcendental senses, Athindriyam. So, this material senses cannot give you, like someone, suppose you keep some plastic or a rubber on your tongue. Try to take gulab jamun and keep on your tongue. Be able to experience the taste? No. Because our original tongue covered with something. Unless you uncover the original tongue, you cannot experience the real taste of gulab jamun. Now, through senses we are enjoying, whether material body or spiritual body, you have to experience pleasure through the senses. The propensity to experience pleasure we cannot avoid. But unfortunately, now our spiritual body covered with material body. Our spiritual senses are covered with material senses. Our spiritual mind covered with material mind. Our original consciousness contaminated with material consciousness. This is the diseased state. Unless we uncover our original senses, unless we clear our original consciousness, where is the question of experiencing happiness? Not possible. Therefore, Shastra says, human life is to purify, to revive our consciousness. Our original consciousness is Krishna consciousness. Nothing else. Right now, we are in Maya consciousness. Therefore, so how to develop Krishna consciousness in this Kali Yuga? It's mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he met Ishwarapuri, to emphasize the importance of Yuga Dharma, the Dharma for Kali Yuga, Ishwarapuri mentioned one important sloka to him. He says, Nama Vinu Kali Kale Nahi Ara Dharma. Other than Nama Vinu Kali Kale, in this age of Kali, Nahi Ara Dharma. There is no other religious principles other than the chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. He says, Sarva mantra Sara Nama. The essence of all unlimited mantras are mentioned in the Vedas. Vedas contain 1 crore of crore slokas. Sarva mantra Sara, the cream, essence of all mantras is Nama, holy name of Krishna. Yes, Shastra Marma. This is the essence of all Vedic hymns. See? how important is chanting. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being compassionate to the fallen souls of Kali Yuga, he brought this mantra from Golokera Prema Dhana. This highest wealth for the living beings. This is Nama. Nama is the highest prema, means Krishna prema. This Nama can give Krishna prema. That gift brought by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The same gift, Parampara Acharyas very mercifully distributing to all the conditioned souls. But unfortunately, we don't take it seriously. There is a nice pastime in the life of Haridas Thakura. How to have a faith on holy name in Shastras. In the early years of life of Haridas Thakura, we all know Raghunath Das' parents, Govardhan Das and his uncle Hiranya Dasa. They were living in a Chandapura village near to Shantipura in West Bengal. So, on the request of their family priest, Balarama Acharya, so Haridasa Thakura agreed to live some days in that village to give association to the people in general. One time, this Govardhan Das and Hiranya Das, they are two brothers. They are the landlords. Means they are the one who collect the tax and submit to a king. And they wanted to have association of Haridas Thakura. So they requested him, Haridas Thakur, they invited him to their house to have a satsang. Go right. Sometimes our devotees go weekly twice to conduct soulful sangha programs, to give association, to distribute holy name, to give Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So in the same village, there was one tax collecting officer. His name is Gopala Chakravarti. He was working under these two landlords, Govardhan Das and Hiranya Das. So, when Haridas Thakur giving discourse on the glories of the holy name, so this young Mayavadi Brahman, Gopala Chakravarti, he could not tolerate the statements of Haridas Thakura. Haridas Thakur asked everyone, what is the benefits of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Everyone telling, sometimes in the college we ask students, they say, looking for peace. Most of them, I want to control my mind. I'm having some financial problems. It's all fine. That can be satisfied the holy name. And Haridas Thakur not satisfied with the answers from the audience. And he says, Mukti Tucha, even a liberation is very insignificant product of chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Somebody chants, even at the beginning of Nama Bhasa, like there are three stages in chanting. What are the three stages? There are three stages in chanting. One, yes, Nama Parada, Nama Bhasa and very good, Shuddha Nama. The first stage is chanting with more or less 10 offenses. Every day we read out, right? During our morning sadhana. So that is a Nama Paradha. As we keep continuing chanting under the guidance of spiritual master, we come to the stage of Nama Bhasa. Nama Bhasa means almost stopped offenses. At the same time, not come to the stage of chanting very purely. The intermediate stage. Even at the beginning of Nama Bhasa stage, one can become free from all the reactions of sinful life and immediately can get liberated. Prabhupada gives analogy. Generally we see sunrise. At what time sun rises? Above the eastern horizon, around or 6:15 or 6:20. Even before sun rises above the horizon, you see all the darkness dissipated. Even before you come to the platform of Shuddha Nama itself, you are liberated. That is the power of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Even Nama Bhasa can give liberation. Then this, this Mayavadi Brahman, young Brahmana who was the tax collecting officer, he got up very angrily. And, the kind of statement he made on Haridas Thakur, just you can learn the lessons. He said, you are an emotional devotee, or bhauka. How is it possible? Simply by chanting, you are saying a person gets liberation. As per me, even after many millions of lifetimes, when you become very expert in Shastras, when you are expert in knowledge, still it is not easy to get mukti. You are saying simply you chant Nama without offenses, you get liberation. So he got very angry. He is thinking that all this, is offending. He is thinking that the glories of chanting is imagination. Like we have a fifth offense, right? What is the fifth offense? To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. He was offending. And Haridas Thakur explaining, then he abuses. So he says, Vipra kahe, Nama bhase yadi mukti naya. If somebody doesn't achieve liberation with Nama bhasa, tabe tomara nakha khati. I'll cut off your nose. See? Namacharya is an exalted Acharya. See the rebellious attitude of the conditioned souls. Then, of course, pure devotees don't take offense others. Then very smilingly, with sweet voice. In assembly, so many are there learned pandits. This puffed up Gopala Chakravarti made such a statement. If somebody doesn't get liberation with Nama Bhasa, I'll cut off your nose. Sometimes Prabhupada, when he's giving talk also, when Prabhupada was saying, the third class, fourth class, fifth class devotees, one person asks, which class you belongs? See? Anyways, Prabhupada humbly said, I'm a fifth class. Then he shut down his mouth and sat. So he said, Haridasa said, Yadi Nama Bhase Mukti Naya. If somebody doesn't get liberation with Nama Bhasa, Tabe Amara Nakha Katinu E Samshaya. I myself will cut off my nose. See the faith of Acharyas. They know Abhinnatvam Nama Naminaha. They know that the name of Krishna is non-different from Krishna. It is perfectly identically same, equally potent like Krishna, names of Krishna. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he was going to Western countries, he says, I know these Western people are naturally meat eaters, womanizers, they are indulged in intoxication. But I have a faith on one thing. I have a faith on the strength of the holy name. That is only my faith. Somehow or other, I'll give you a mantra, Hare Krishna. That mantra, I have a faith, that will change everyone. Prabhupada did same thing. What Prabhupada doing? Sitting in a park, chanting, Hare Krishna, like that, chant, simply chanting. These people started imitating Prabhupada. Finally, what happened? They shaved their head. They took saffron dress. They came to India. They inspired Indians. Indians thought, "Hey, what is these people? They came from foreign country. They're all mlechas, yavanas. They're teaching us, Sanatana Dharma." They got alert. That is the power of holy name. So, that's what Acharya is saying. Have a faith in Shastras. Why are you doubting? He's asking Gopala Chakravarti, why you doubt Shastra? It is not my statement. It is given in the Vedas. But Brahman, that puffed up Gopala Chakravarti could not accept. So, then everyone in that assembly got up very angry. They thought of beating Gopala Chakravarti because offending a pure devotee, Haridas Thakura. They have thrown him out from the room. Then everyone fell at the feet of Haridas Thakura. Kindly forgive. We have invited you, but you got insulted in this assembly. He said, I don't take any offense. He is used for such kind of, arguments, dry philosopher. It is my duty to correct them. He did not take any offense. But devotees may forgive, but Krishna cannot tolerate somebody offends his devotees. Krishna looking for the opportunity to punish the offenders. Within 3 days, this young, beautiful, learned, Mayavadik Brahmana, Gopal Chakravarti, attacked with leprosy. See, leprosy is a very, very painful disease. Leprosy attacked at his nose first. Nose started melting away. It fell off. Fingers, toes, all leg, fingers, everything started melting away. Could feel intense pain. All the villagers, they could realize, my God, how powerful the influence of Haridas Thakura. People went and paid obeisance to him. He offended you, God. Leprosy. So that's how, therefore we should be very, very careful not to offend pure devotees, Paramparacharyas. If you don't agree, no problem. There is a way not to agree, but you cannot offend. So therefore, it's very important to have a faith in the words of Guru and Sadhus. So if you see here in the purport, to surrender, Srila Prabhupada says at the end, to surrender unto the Lord through the transparent medium of spiritual master is to attain complete freedom of life. So Prabhupada giving a clue how to get a complete freedom, like Narada. So it is possible when one surrenders unto Krishna by surrendering to a Guru. We should understand, the more we surrender to Krishna, the more freedom we get. Is it not? Is there anyone having more freedom than Radharani in serving Krishna? Is there anyone who has more freedom than Yashoda Mata in serving Krishna? Why they are having such a freedom to play with Krishna, to punish Krishna sometimes? Because they were completely surrendered to Krishna. Therefore, they are enjoying complete freedom. See? We, the followers of Srila Prabhupada, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, we are enjoying joy of Krishna consciousness. Just now before class, we are having how joyfully you are performing Kirtan. Who has given this freedom? Who has blessed this joy of performing Kirtan? Joy of understanding Bhagavad Gita? Joy of worshipping Lord? Joy of, after class you all go for prasadam. Joy of honoring prasadam. Who has given this freedom of practicing Krishna consciousness life? Not that everyone is blessed. Sometimes outside persons comes, can I get one small flower? They beg. Isn't it? There's some, please can I get a little prasadam? But the dedicated disciples, they have full freedom. So, this, how we got this freedom? It is blessed by Guru. Should always acknowledge that, recognize that. This freedom of devotional life I have got, it is costless mercy of Guru. Therefore, we should sincerely serve him, render service unto him. Narada Muni, how he is enjoying freedom? He is a spaceman. Anywhere he can go, nobody can check him. So, unless we surrender Guru and follow his instructions, and what is our Prabhupada instruction? What is the primemost instruction, foremost instruction? Chanting 16 rounds and following 4 regulative principles. So every day, without fail, if we chant 16 rounds and try to follow 4 regulative principles, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication, and whatever the free time available, should try to do devotional service to Guru. The more you please Guru, the more you follow Guru, the more freedom we can enjoy in this life. We can become more spiritualized. The more we spiritualize, naturally we can experience happiness. Like some person, when they are a person get diseased, as he keep getting health, enjoy the life. As you keep spiritualizing, so naturally we can experience the real happiness. So let us pray to Srila Prabhupada, so for his blessings to practice Krishna consciousness to get complete freedom. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.